Film it slows me down. The cameras themselves inspire me because each camera sounds different, each camera feels different.
When you ask people why they shoot film, the primary answer always seems to be like the look. You know, I love the look of film. And while that certainly applies to me, I can honestly say that I like how it makes me shoot and why it makes me shoot as much as I like the look.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I was born, you were just a stranger. Girl, you happened to be in a way. Fumbling through time, I found my something. Something just made me wanna stay. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here we go again.
The first time I shot film was with a Hasselblad 501cm. And I had started in school and you had to do a film class. And so I got it. And I remember holding it and looking down into the camera. It was a waist level viewfinder. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is completely different. Like, not saying it's better or worse, but just all of a sudden, you know, I just done this zoom lens right through this. And of course on the Hasselblad, you know, I only had 12 shots per back. So instead of just blasting away like I was when I was learning, I was like, wow, I gotta be really careful. And just looking through like a medium format camera, like looking at the ground glass and how different everything looked. For a while, even when I wasn't shooting, I would just walk around with my camera, just like pointing it at things like, whoa, that looks so cool, or wow, that looks so different. And that's one of my favorite things about shooting film, is there's so many different camera types. And while the camera isn't everything, I think some of the camera types can inspire you to shoot differently. Like if you have a waist level viewfinder, all of a sudden you're framing it different. If you have a square, you know, you see different shots. Or if you have a rangefinder where you're not seeing any of the depth of field, you're seeing everything in focus. All of a sudden composition becomes so important because you're not looking at a blurred image, you have to line up everything. And all of a sudden I was looking at the images I was about to make in a completely different way.
So I'm Stephen DeVries, and I'm an editorial photographer here in Birmingham, Alabama. I do mostly editorial work. I still do some weddings as well, but within my editorial work I specialize in food, travel, and portraiture. And you know, within that I'll do some fashion, some lifestyle and stuff. But yeah, so I shoot a mixture of digital and film, but film has always been my favorite, and it captures light in a different way than digital does. And to me, they're both tools that both have their uses, but man, film has just always been where my heart has been with photography, for a bunch of different reasons. As a photographer, just sort of outside of like the physical attributes of film, it makes me shoot differently. And then, you know, on top of that, it changes the way that I interact with clients, whether it's a travel assignment, working with a chef doing food, shooting a wedding portrait. It slows me down. It allows me to connect with them. I'm not staring at the back of a camera all day. And I can really, I can emotionally connect with them in a way that allows me to take the photos that I want to take, to me much stronger than I can do with digital. With film, I can shoot everything from Pentax 6.7, which is my main camera, which is shooting a 6.7, the perfect format for a magazine page without any cropping. I can shoot square format. I can even shoot wide lux and shoot ultra wide. So you have all these different formats that are available that change the way that you think about images, change the way that you think about storytelling through your images. And when you go into an assignment, say a travel assignment that's going to include food and portraiture, you go into it and you can think about a scene and think about how is a wide lux and a wide shot going to read the scene, and how is it going to translate that scene to the viewers or the people that are reading the story. It really completely changes the conversation with how you're capturing.
If you're leaving, I guess you must. Time heals all, and this I trust. But still, I'm alone in this cloud of dust.
Man, why I shoot film? Man, a lot of reasons probably. I started on film. It's something I've been kind of comfortable with my whole life. Always had a little Polaroid or Kodak camera or something like that. And just the process of shooting and then waiting to get that film back and kind of see that surprise and see what I've shot has always just been I don't know, it's a really fun experience for me. And then in school, in college, shooting, got my first kind of serious film SLR, and was just shooting older Kodak black and white film, C41 process black and white film. And that's kind of what I really learned on, and just getting that back and being able to see the images I made on film. I've never, I guess, gotten anything quite like that in any other medium or any other format that I've shot. So yeah, film's awesome.
It's just awesome. It has like a depth to it, like a weight to it almost, that digital just doesn't seem to have. I kept seeing images that I thought were really awesome. They had like a lot of feeling and life to them, and then later discovered that most of them, if not all of them, were film images. I just don't get like excited about digital images or cameras even. Like when I get a new old camera, like a film camera, I don't know, I just get pumped about it. Or when I shoot a roll, I still just get really excited about it. I just don't with digital anymore. But aside from all that, one of the coolest things to me is some of the people that I've met through film photography. They really care about what they're doing, so they want to shoot something that they have to put more care into, but they get a better result from it. It makes me really excited to go out there and create stuff that I really, really care about.
My name is Paul Bryant. My wife and I have a small production company here in Birmingham. We do a lot of weddings, we do some music videos and commercial stuff, and we've kind of carved out a niche for ourselves doing a mix of 8mm film and digital video. I shoot film because it adds something to, especially the weddings that we shoot, that we can't get any other way. We've tried all of the filters, all of the kind of post-production processes to mimic that look, but really nothing looks like film. And when we show the work that we do to our brides or to potential clients, they see it and it just looks different from the work that other people are putting out there. I love the warm colors and a stock like the Ektachrome 100. I shoot a lot of Tri-X, the 200 ASA, and I absolutely love that film. I love how rich the blacks are. I love the smooth gradation through all the grays. It's just a wonderful film stock. When you're shooting film, it makes you consider a little more carefully the scene that you're capturing, the way the light is hitting, just everything about it, because you know that you have 3 minutes on this roll of Super 8, and if I burn 15 seconds of it on a shot that I don't like, that's something I can't use, that's something I can't show the client, and I feel like I've wasted an opportunity there. And so I tend to shoot a little bit longer takes when I'm shooting film, just because I've been so careful to find the shot that I want that when I start recording, I don't really want to stop.
So essentially, instant film is what got me into photography in the first place. It was when my oldest daughter was born. I had picked up a digital point and shoot, and it was the first camera I've ever owned. And at the time, I was a graphic designer, and so what I actually would do is just pull it into Photoshop and vintage it up. It was before there was actions and stuff like that, and I always thought, I'm like, how can I get this like in an analog way? Well, at the time I had an old Polaroid automatic 100 that I had sitting on the desk for a couple of years because it looked cool, and so it took me a while, but I realized that I could get a battery for it and I could get film for it, and started shooting with it, and it just intrigued me beyond words. It was amazing to learn in an analog way what light does, and it kind of went from there. And so I've embraced instant film. It's definitely my favorite medium. Although I shoot mainly medium format 35mm film, I'm always shooting Polaroids. It's a magical thing to take a photo and see it in your hand after you take it instantly.
Lately I don't feel much, and lately I scream out loud. It's so easy to blame me.
Probably the main reason, I'll back up. The main reason I shoot film is it slows me down. The cameras themselves inspire me because each camera sounds different, each camera feels different, and they all have their own characteristics that speak to my vision, but also I feel like formed my vision, especially developing my photography by shooting my kids. I've got to be patient, and I've got to anticipate the shot. I've got to see it before it happens and wait for it. And then when it happens, I have to be courageous enough to hit the button. And when that happens, when I trust everything and I trust my instinct, and that Polaroid instant film comes out, I'm floored. And I love that I can just flip that Polaroid around and give it to my kid, and she can hold it and see it, and I see this look on her face that's just amazing. And that's why I love instant film.
My mind, I blame you for all the things that make me blue. Oh, lately I don't feel much, and lately I scream out loud.
So we ran into this guy Cook who runs this RV park here in Colorado, and I was telling him what we were doing, and he used to shoot fashion photography back in the day, and he shot film, of course, and he was saying how much he loved Kodak and everything. So he didn't want to be on camera, but he had a lot of cool stuff to say.
God, well, you're taking photos of taking photos. You guys are something else. Well, it was of course, if you use the Kodachrome, what do they call it? The really high-end stuff that nobody could develop. You had to send it in. I can't even remember. Was that? I think they call that. But I used Ektachrome all the time because I could develop myself. What I would do is I would underexpose it and then push it so that you can get the details in the darks better. Actually, digital kind of makes you lazy. No, it does. It makes you lazy. You're letting the cameras do all the work too. But like Ansel Adams was a great photographer. He was the best because he'd had to do all his manipulation in his head and then in the dark room. So it's some great stuff.
As far as being a better photographer, would you say you noticed you were a better photographer when you shot
film? Absolutely, because you get to you're concentrating on all the details. Digital, you take the picture and you go, well, I can fix it in the dark, or I can fix it in Photoshop, so you don't bother.
Yeah, so what's exciting to me is like the company as big as Kodak came out with a whole new line of film. That to me is like awesome.
Well, one of the great things about having a large film company like we do is that we integrated some of the capabilities of our motion picture films and increased the scannability of the film, also decreased the grain.
Yeah.
So the timing was just perfect a couple of years ago when we were able to produce Portra 400, Portra 160, Ektar films to generate a great product, for film photographers. So, which has increased the interest in film photography as well.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Wendy Laurel. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer here in Hawaii. I shoot 100% film. I shoot all Kodak color film. I love Kodak Ektar and Portra 800. They give me the exact colors of Hawaii. I've got really blue oceans here, blue skies. I've got green palm trees. I've got really bright, vibrant colors. My clients want to see that in their work. They don't want to see a washed out version of that. They want to see it as they remember it. Kodak film does a great job capturing that. I shoot out here in the Hawaiian sun all the time. I don't get any lost highlights. I don't get any crazy flare. It looks beautiful. Couldn't be happier shooting film, and you make Hawaii look great.
My name is Kelbert, and I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm a film photographer, and I shoot film because for me, it's easy. It stays out of the way. It's the silent part of the equation that makes everything work. I feel like if I can just pick up a film camera, my handy dandy Nikon FD, and a roll of Tri-X, go out into a shoot, there's nothing that's going to separate me from my client or me from the moment that I'm in. So I don't connect with digital anything. I'm a musician. I'm a pianist. And when I play, I would much prefer playing an acoustic piano than a digital piano. It would be that way with photography. I love the fact that it allows me to, I guess, send my emotions through the camera. It allows me to stay in the moment. There's no LCD screen that is demanding that I take a look at it every second of the day. It keeps me there. Film keeps me there, keeps me in the moment. I feel like it has a soul. I feel like it's alive. And I love those qualities of it. It was easy for me to get into film because I just called home. Everyone has a father or grandparent or mother who has some old film camera in their closet. And it doesn't cost a thing to get that camera and to go out and buy a couple of rolls of film and just start shooting and enjoy yourself. So those are some of the reasons why I shoot film. It's easy, it's good, it's right, it's alive.
Shooting film since me and my brother were 15 years old, and filmed my dad's old Olympus camera. We were skateboarders back then, so naturally we took pictures of each other. It's being trans world.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
So that's what got us into photography, and eventually we started to pursue it more and get into like the technical aspects. We took a darkroom class and just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
But when I shot digital in the past, it's just like, the thing is, it's you can't help it. Yeah, that was okay. That's okay. You just start taking pictures just to see them, and none of them are good. You're just firing it just to see them, and then you end up like it changes your entire. You can still take great photographs, but it changes the entire way you approach finding the photo. You know, finding the image that you want to create. Very few people like totally pre-visualize and structure a shot. They have it storyboarded exactly how they want it, and they just go out and they execute it. Something that's already in their head. But even the people that do that, I think the majority of photography is discovery and how you see the world in that one split second and recognizing that and taking the picture. Dude, okay, so I was at a Dodgers game and it was Star Trek night or something like that. And so,
Star Trek night?
Yeah, which basically they do like, it was like some anniversary night for the Star Trek, it doesn't matter. They were doing fireworks because it was a Saturday night. And like, after the game, they open up the outfield and everybody comes down and stand on the field, and I'm like, what's going on? And they're gonna do fireworks. I'm like, oh, cool, let's stay and hang out and see them. And we're sitting there, and then Star Trek thing comes on, and fireworks are going off. I'm like, this is so amazing. And then I look down, and like, the crowd was almost as bright as the fireworks with all of their phones. And I'm looking over the person next to me, and they got like their phone up there, and I'm like, videoing it, and then like getting ready. Trying to get it, and I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, it's all blown out, and I'm like, dude, look up! Stop looking at your screen, that's beautiful! That's awful on your screen! And then they're like, send it, put it on Facebook while the fireworks are going, just missing everything. And it's like, the majority of the people there were doing the same exact thing, you know? There was like 20,000 people in the stadium, and like, 15,000 of them were sharing it on Facebook. And I'm like, yeah, they got it, I'll just Google it afterwards. Dodger Stadium fireworks.
Yeah.
But like, people are like obsessed with like, I think people take more photographs today than any time in history, but they don't really appreciate what they're getting.
Looking down at the camera.
This is digital. I missed whatever happened.
The second you
you're going like this, waiting for something to happen, and actually usually you're not. You're just going click, 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 and you're like click, 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 click. Okay, 15 shots. Okay, wait, did I get it? Let me hold on. Now something's happening, and you're missing it.
Yeah.
You know. And the funny thing is with film, like you could have the slowest camera in the world, but you know, you're just looking through it, focusing, and showing both eyes. And, nah, I'm not really feeling that. I'm not gonna take a picture, and then all of a sudden, you're ready. You're always ready. And even if it's here, I can just be like, okay, it's gonna be closer, and then boom, focus. Just got you.
He's still here.
But I just got that moment. I wouldn't have gotten it if I was going through the other photos I took.
You didn't even look. Yeah, you didn't even look down.
And I don't need to see it because I know it's there. I know it's permanent. I don't need to share it immediately to just get gratification out of it. It's like, no, I got that. It's there.
Yeah.
I know exactly I got the shots. There's like a film gives you like this discipline. Because you're like, yeah, I only got 32 shots. Then I gotta change film. So I'm gonna make each shot count. And then you're taking it and you just know how good it can be. And you're just like, oh, before you click the shutter, you're going click, 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 click. While you're moving, you're like, no, let me change this. I'm gonna make this better. No, I'm gonna change it. And then you take the shot. Where if you're just clicking, you're like, there's this like thing like, okay, well, you know what? You know what? I just took like 15 shots. I think I got it. Wait, let me check. And then you're out of that moment. With film, you really look through the lens, and you just want you really want to make sure you got it while you're shooting it.
when I started in photography, for the first year or two, digital rocked because I learned it. It's not the same as film, but you're still learning how to use the camera. So like, I credit digital with allowing me to fall in love with photography. And then the film, like, I was never satisfied. Like, I was never like, I love my processing, I love my digital processing. I was always like, this has got to get better, this doesn't look right. And every time I'd see an image in something on Tumblr or online or something that I really, really, really liked, 9 times out of 10 it was a film image. And I'm like, this is getting out of control, like this is ridiculous. Why am I trying so hard and spending so much time attempting to recreate something that I like? Why don't I just shoot it? It could be the same shot, it could be the same lighting, it could be the same exact situation. I will every single time pick the film over digital, every time. No matter how much editing I do to digital to get it close, I will always choose the film image. It was just like, I got like 2 years in, I was like, you know what, screw this. Like, I'm just gonna go try my hand at this. Went out, bought an RZ, and I just remember putting the roll in and then getting the roll back, and I'm like, oh crap, you know, like
that's the exact same thing.
I was like, oh, that's done. And you know, I mean, it's medium format, obviously, and it's just, and then it just kind of spiraled from there.
I first picked a camera up about 2.5 years ago. I started digital and quickly got very addicted. And about 3 months after I started shooting, my friend Alice Gow, who's an awesome film photographer, introduced me and got me kind of hooked. I started using her contacts, and I mean, after that I just couldn't stop shooting film. It kind of took over everything I did. So I'm still a hybrid shooter. I'd say I'm about 80% film, but yeah, kind of changed the game. It's hard because I like digital, and I think it has a lot of potential and there's a lot of uses for it, but I mean, obviously film looks better. Like, it's the way my scans come back, it works for me, but it's more the process of it. And when I look through my contacts, like, I see completely differently than I do when I look through a digital camera. So it's, for me, it's more beginning to end. My pictures come out so much better just because of the process of it.
When I started, I learned on digital, and I feel like I just kind of shot just to shoot. And it wasn't until I first shot a film camera that I realized that I was actually paying attention to how I was composing. I was really present. I was actually thinking about what I was trying to portray in my photography, as opposed to just shooting, and hoping that I got something meaningful or worthwhile, or that was even expressing what I was aiming for.
Why do I shoot film? I shoot film because, well, I learned on film. So I am that old. No, I learned on film. I learned in high school shooting T-Max black and white 400. And I just loved, I mean, I think everyone who learned at that time kind of fell in love with the contrast. And you fell in love with the darkroom. Like, you fell in love with watching your work come to life. And then when digital came out, I kind of went into that because it was just like, it was new and it was cheaper. But I just never loved my images. I could compose an image, I could create an image, but that life just wasn't there. And so I went back to film almost 4 years ago now. I haven't looked back. the life that I can create in an image. Like there's something living in that celluloid. There's something alive and breathing when I shoot film, which I just don't get when I shoot digital. I mean, I'm in no way one of the digital haters. Like I get it. Like there are some people out there that are blowing my mind shooting digital. For me, it's just like, for me, my art comes through the creation and using film and the way different stocks capture light, and it's just, it speaks to me.
I shoot film because there's so much more to it. And when you get a digital camera and you take a picture, it's just so flat and dead. And it doesn't matter what you shoot, what camera you use a film camera. There's so much more life to it. It's a 3D quality. The color's better, the rendition's better, the resolution's better, and you have to take your time to focus and compose. So the shots you get are 90% of the time a better shot that you never take with a digital camera, just shooting away 10,000 images at a time. So it's a better workflow, it's better images, it's just a better way to do things. There's so many more stops of dynamic range, there's so much more resolution, and stuff you can't get in even the nicest digital camera you can buy.
I guess I really got into shooting film, 2 years after I really got into digital, and I just wanted to learn more about photography, and I think film took it to the next level for me to learn something. I felt like I just plateaued out shooting digital, and I didn't really feel super excited to shoot anymore. And when I started shooting film, I remember getting my first medium format camera in the box from KEH, and I opened it up and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I don't know how to load it or anything. Kodak Ektar was my first film that I ever shot, and it was super colorful. I loved the way that it looked, and I actually still use one of those pictures from my very first roll that I shot as like my main header on my website and everything. And once I got them back, I looked at the picture on the screen. It was like so sharp. It was sharper than anything I've ever seen before as a picture. I knew right there I was going to go to another spot in my photography career. So when I shoot film, I mainly shoot weddings. I love bringing a more romantic look to weddings instead of just it's a perfect picture every time. I like the imperfection film gives, especially with weddings. Pretty cool having a different camera than most people are seeing when you shoot weddings. So it's like they definitely want to come up to you and talk to you, be like, what's that camera? And then you get to tell them that you're shooting film, and they're always so surprised when you tell them that you're shooting film and you explain to them like why it's better, or not better, but like it's a different look. I just like the pure colors that it gives. The highlights are there. Everything's there with film, where digital, there's only so much that it can hold. The main reason that I would shoot film is because I feel like that's my personality. I like a little bit more of a challenge than just shooting away looking at the back of the screen. Like, I want a challenge when I shoot, and I want the different look. I want to set myself apart from other photographers, because there's not, especially here in Montgomery, there's not a lot of people that shoot film, or they're just getting into it and they're shooting 35mm, which 35mm is awesome, but medium format, just, it's next level.
This is my dad's Fujica half camera. He bought it shortly after him and mom got married to document their newlywed life. And then my oldest brother came along, and then my second brother, and I'm finally me. And with this little no-nonsense camera, he captured the only memories I have of our life in Hong Kong. I'd imagine Dad going down to the store and picking up some film, loading it into the camera, and taking this on our family picnics and our trips to Macau. Although a lot of these photos are in pretty rough shape, we still have some of the negatives, so at least we can get them scanned and they come back to life, good as new. One reason why I love film is because of cameras like this. Simple, well-built cameras that can easily be repaired, can last a lifetime, and get passed on down to generations.
I decided to shoot film again because we wanted to start a family, and I knew that 8 hours at my computer for every wedding wasn't conducive to being the kind of dad I wanted to be. I wanted time to spend with my daughter, I wanted time to spend with my wife, I wanted time to pursue other things like sailing, and if I was padlocked to my computer, it wasn't going to happen. Film allows me to do the job, send it to the lab, and I get back beautiful images that I don't really have to mess with. So I can produce work that I'm proud of without being chained to a computer. Film allows me to connect with my clients. I'm not constantly looking at the back of my screen, checking histograms, super worried about my exposures. I can worry about expression, I can worry about that connection with the subject. I can worry about taking a beautiful photograph without worrying about the technical part of it quite so much. People act like film is so difficult, but think about it. Your grandmother used to do it. How hard can it be?
I started working with photography in 2005, and I worked at a film lab, and they converted over to digital because film was dead. At least that's what they told me. They got rid of all their film equipment. And so when we started going into the digital direction, doing pure digital stuff, I noticed that it was the same stuff, you know, same wedding shots, same poses, same senior shots, and it was mainly seniors, families, weddings. Working at a film lab, I've noticed differences in the type of shots that are sent to us. It's more artsy. I feel like the photographer's personality comes out a little bit more in film. And I think that has a lot to do with what you have to do in order to achieve film shots. You have to wait, you have to slow down. Film forces you to do these things, and so it forces you to think. That's what it does for me, and any film photographer that I've talked to, it does the same for them. Whenever I shoot film, I slow down, capture the image, look at it in my head, and then shoot it. I have to make sure everything is good because I only have so many shots on the film. The digital you can shoot away. There's a lot of creativity in film photography, and there's a lot of different looks. I can look at digital photography and there can be different photographers, but it has a similar look, and I think that has to do with there's only so many digital cameras out on the market right now, and everybody's using, you know, the same cameras. Now with film photography, there's so many different types of film and so many different types of film cameras that you're going to get a different look. I mean, you can get one look with one film on one camera and then get another look with that same film on a different camera. And you can also get a different look with one camera and one type of film, and then if you change that film to another type, you're going to get a different look. You can't do that with digital unless you go into a photo editor and change that. And with digital, it seems like there's more post-production with digital trying to get it the way that you want to look than there is actually shooting it the way that you want it to look.
So yeah, I was, grew up in the 80s, so everything I saw from, cool skate magazines to, the movies we watched, they were all on film. So I'm just used to those textures and those tones and the way they look. So I think it has a lot to do with it. When I rediscovered film again, I was like, oh, that's what I was missing in my photography, is those textures and those tones that, I grew up seeing in like my childhood photos and the movies I watched and stuff. It just has this like cinematic, like, mature look to it. So yeah, I get inspired when I actually load my camera because I know I have a certain amount of shots to get the shot, and so I need to slow down, compose correctly, you know, take my time and just get the shots that, you know, I really want to get, instead of just blasting away and picking a few. Actually slow down and take my time and try to capture the moments. To me, printing is like the most important part of the entire process. You know, so when I'm shooting film, I know that from the darkest point to the lightest point, the whole range is going to be there. It just has this character to it, and you know, the grain has so much texture, and when I print that, it just looks amazing. It just has this depth to it, this mature look to it. I just can't get anywhere else. And you know, printing is super important. It's like that final stage in the process, and when I present someone a print, you know, they can see it right there. They're not having to look on the computer or look at, you know, on Facebook or anything to see it, you know, through like an uncalibrated monitor or something that's not correct. So when I have the print, you know, there's no variable in there. It's just, here's the print and they can see it. So it's kind of me presenting to the world the final print of my work. So, you know, I think it's super important, and film just captures it like no other medium.
So I started with film mainly because my mom brought home an old film camera, and I just went to my nearest CVS or Walgreens, picked up a 35mm roll, read the manual, made sure the little mark was over the 0, and took my first picture. So if I'm shooting 35mm, I've got 36 shots. That's 36 chances to get a good shot. Not only are you changing the number of frames that you're shooting, you're changing the depth of field, the actual field of the image. It gets super shallow when you go 6/7. I don't have to worry about white balance. I do have to pay attention to the lighting situations. There is a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, and sometimes it's nice to master the right way to do it, but then you become complacent and bored. So you have to step away from that, maybe even outside the box, break a few rules, get some cool images, and find out how to shoot differently. The 3 biggest things for me when shooting film is composition, exposure, and light quality. If those are the only things I have to pay attention to, it makes shooting a breeze. I can connect with my subject. To me, there's more. You have more of a relationship with yourself, your client, the tools you're using, whatever camera it may be, whatever film it may be. You have a relationship with it. The amount of work you have to put into the image before you take it is directly relational to what you get back from it. It's kind of a give and take relationship. If you give your all, you're going to get back some pretty amazing stuff. I think that's why people are going to keep shooting film.
So what we've discovered after talking to all these different photographers about why they use film is that although film has a unique look and feel, it's just what allows them to tell their story and capture life the way they see it. So long live film.
Born out south to New Orleans. Got a new shirt, got new blue jeans, got an old heart you don't need.
This comes out. This just comes out. What if I'm like? What if I'm like? Okay.
There we go.
So we can buy all of it.
How many F-stops do you use? I use all.
What was I saying?
Oh, great, Alan. This will look great. Desert behind you. Very beautiful. All right, good. Good expression. All right, got you over here. You know what would make this just even a little bit better, though? I think if we just,
Dude, for real?
No, it's great.
Dude, come on.
No, it's beautiful. Very artistic.
Wow.
Alan, you look great. Embrace it.
Did you get a picture of this on your phone?
Grocery shopping's the worst, huh?
Dude, it is. Especially when they take
I have to get like.
Oh, so you need like $10, $15 batteries?
Yeah.
My digital camera has a rechargeable battery. My whole digital camera cost $400 and it came with one.
I shoot film because people are more likely to take their clothes off if they know it's not digital.
Your answer's so much better than mine.
Basically, yeah.
Shit.
Okay. What up, MTV2?
Oh, it's no, it's for the internet.
Oh, what up, internet?
Yeah. Hey, yo, Ryan. Represent.
Doing a little street shoot.
But where?
In New Orleans.
No, America.
Blueprint came in the range, hopped out the Lexus. Every year since, I've been on that next shit. Traded in a gold for the platinum Rolexes.
Hey, dude, don't wreck.
Hey! Hey! Hello!
Oh, hey, I'm here. I'm right here. Oh, dude, I'm looking for you.
Hey!
Oh, hey, man, I'm right here.
It's all good, then?
No, man, it's good.
Cool.
Looking for the bathroom.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Hey, guys. What's up? Down the bathroom.
Oh!
Hey, Nat. How do you feel in those glasses, dude?
Yes, sir.
What's up, dude?
Hello, chap. Hello. Hello. How are you?
Oh.
And we're playing 52 pickup.
I saw in the movie. I thought that's how you could do it, but I don't know if this is actually gonna win.